Live weather updates from the studio and outdoors with Tanner Saro and Nicholas Driver. Weather is what we do.
Hey folks, thank you for tuning in here at the Nicholas WX YouTube channel. I'm Nicholas Driver. We're going to take a deeper look on the upcoming severe weather that we can expect starting today, going into the beginning of our work week. This will affect millions. So let's just go ahead and get into our forecast for the upcoming severe weather. With that, we'll move on to our day one SPC outlook here, and we do currently have a slight risk in effect for the Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio regions. We do also currently have severe weather going on in this region, and we do have a severe thunderstorm warning that is ongoing towards the Lewiston, Illinois area. And here's our current view using the Radar Omega radar here towards the Lewiston, Illinois region. This is more of a supercellular thunderstorm, but right now, due to the atmosphere and this being closer to the warm front, we have a whole lot more wind out there, and with that wind, we got larger hail that is currently ongoing. Large golf ball size hail could be falling with this storm, and just zooming out farther towards the Richmond, Virginia region, we also have a few storms out there, again, towards the Richmond, Virginia area. And this is a severe thunderstorm warning that will expire within 24 minutes from now. But most of these storms right now are carrying lots of lightning, heavy rain, and hail and gustier winds. No tornado threat is ongoing, but it is out there. Matter of fact, we're going to take a look back at our SPC outlook and take a closer look on what we're seeing. So going back to our SPC outlook, we have a 2% tornado risk, which is not extremely bad, but it is something that we're going to continue to have to deal with throughout the rest of the evening. With that, we can have very isolated tornadoes within a severe thunderstorm warning or criteria area. And we're just, again, going to have to continue to watch for the regions that are in this slight risk. Main threat, again, is going to be that hail, where we do have a 15% chance in seeing larger hail within anywhere around that slight risk region. And so far, that's really today's risk is hail driven. Going ahead and take a look at tomorrow's risk, we have an enhanced risk that is in effect for the Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, Missouri, and Illinois, and very small parts of Indiana, where this is going to, again, be mainly a hail-driven event and wind-driven event. And we do have a tornado threat, but the tornado threat has dropped. We did have a 10% hatch risk, but it has dropped. So we're seeing a downtrend on what we might see towards tomorrow on the tornado side, but that wind and that hail is still going to be there. We got a 30% and 15% SIG hail risk within the Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri, Kansas, and Arkansas region. So large amounts of hail and larger sizes can be possible by tomorrow afternoon. We'll take a closer look at the models here in a little bit. But I also want to take a look at our day 3 outlook, where we do now also have an enhanced risk for the Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, and West Virginia that is going to be in that region there. So again, we're just going to continue to monitor that as well. This is going to be, I believe, more of a tornado-driven event, or not tornado, but hail and tornado-driven event. And the wind threat's also going to be there. What we are also seeing on some of the models is we're starting to see a MCS to a QLCS type line develop right after we have those linear cells. But right now, day 1 is where we start seeing those cells, individual cells develop, and then going into day 2, they kind of congeal, weaken, and then become an issue again. And let's just go ahead and show that in simpler form on the models. Before we go any further on the model part, I do want to really take a look kind of at the HRRR and see what we got out there for today. And this is about 18Z is around, we do got a paper here, it's around 6 p.m. this afternoon. It is almost 6 Central Daytime here, so at the time of this video, it's almost 6 p.m. So around this time, we're having cells develop, and most of these cells will be severe. We'll have some isolated cells develop towards the Kansas region. This is more going to be a heavy rainfall, again, event with flash flooding possible. We're going to be dealing with that possibility of seeing larger hail and gustier winds, and a few spin-up tornadoes cannot be ruled out throughout this region, but these will continue to develop and train over the same areas. As we move into Monday, again, these will begin to train over the areas, and then we got the main event that will begin to develop out about Monday afternoon going into early Tuesday. And with that, that is where our main focus goes, is towards the Texas, Oklahoma, going all the way into Kansas, Missouri, and Illinois. This is where, towards the Texas and Oklahoma and Kansas and Missouri region, we can have a triple point. And some of the storms are forecasted to form off of a dry line. With the warm front being where it's at, that warm front is bringing all that nice, warm, juicy air. Dew points temps are going to be in the 60s and 70s throughout the region. And it's going to be intensely ripe atmosphere out there. And taking, again, look at the temperature, you can see how sharp that cold front is going to be. And with those temperatures, it's going to give it a lot to work with. So going back to what we might and will see here out towards the Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, those regions, like I said before, as these cells begin to form into a single line, we'll see some discrete cells, mainly multicellular cells, but we're going to continue to watch for the possibility of seeing singular supercells. But we are a day away from this event, so we're getting closer looks. Now, HRRR is pinpointing a little bit closer since we are just a day away, but we're in a question if we're going to see singular or multicellular. So we're waiting to really see and break down on just exactly what we'll see. Follow me on Nicholas WX, where I will give hourly updates when they do come in for tomorrow and Tuesday. So stay tuned on my Twitter page. I'll keep you even more weather aware there as well. But going back to our forecast here, again, these storms will rock through the region and become a linear threat, but then as we go into the early morning hours Tuesday, they will kind of just dissipate. We'll deal with some flash flooding up north towards the Indiana, Illinois area, and that will crash into the West Coast region where we're going to deal with all that rain. And all that rain is going to, of course, bring some flash flooding. And in that area that we do have that severe risk, we could have a line come out in front of it and bring down some, heavier storms towards that region. And if those heavier storms can survive out there in the environment, we may see the atmosphere weaken just enough where we won't see the main line cause much. But that is a question in its own self. So we're going to, even though that may be the possibility, we still need to have ways to get warnings, and we need to stay weather aware. I will try my best to go live here on the channel to keep you all weather aware, because that is our priority here. So continuing to really monitor the situation as these will continue to move through, we could see again that multicellular, supercellular type question mark on what we might see. Again, like I said, I see more of a tornado threat Tuesday as a possibility, but both days are similarly the same, and we're going to see about the same on both days possibility there. I do want to take a look at the back half snow that we're dealing with, and it's going to be a lot. This is going to be something that can give us blizzard conditions towards the Nebraska, South Dakota, Colorado, and Wyoming regions, and even down towards the Arizona or New Mexico as well. And then rain showers kind of move through the area. After that system moves out of the Oklahoma and Kansas region, snow comes in right on the back half of it. And with that, those cooler temperatures will move in as well. But we will have a little bit of snow before it starts to switch into rain as well. But I also want to take a look at that cape that we can expect towards the Oklahoma region by early Monday. And we got a lot of action that is out there. And 1,000 cape, and this is SIG pretty much, significant parameter with these lines. That is telling us that there's a higher chance of seeing those higher values of cape basically in that point. But 1,000 to 2,000 cape can be expected, and that is what we're going to continue to watch for. Although this is out in front of the current rain that we got, and well, the current atmosphere that we got right now, but we don't have any severe storms to latch on to that cape right now, so we're not seeing much in that. But we continue to look out, and I do want to try to get a little bit longer range, and it doesn't look like we have that longer range right now. But I also want to take a look at the significant tornado parameter, and evidently the models are not loading in like they should be, so I do apologize. But earlier, we were looking at the significant tornado parameter, which is kind of throwing together all the values, cape, and just the atmosphere values and what we might see, and that puts it all together as a thing where it kind of shows us where the best environment would be for a tornado. But right now, ARRR is not bringing that up, so we'll just focus on the shear, and then kind of talk a little bit more on what we need to do to get prepared. But looking out towards the Monday and Tuesday area, we'll have a trough eject towards the northeast. That is what will be bringing out severe weather. And as this system becomes more of a QLCS type line, all that shear is going to be out there, and that will help with the help it become more of a straight line damaging wind threat. But if we do see supercellular type activity towards this red part of the line here, where we got a lot of wind out there, that is going to possibly cause us to see significantly more tornadoes than what is not expected, but just what is ordinarily, because that could help with the rotation and the atmosphere. We just need the cape values and shear, instability, all that to be together, and that's what will throw us into dealing with severe weather. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to keep you prepared. We will be here with you through every step of the way. Let's just go ahead and we'll move on to the intro part here in just a minute. Alright folks, so I really do appreciate you for joining me here. This is mainly to help forecast and help people understand what we might see. I'm a learning forecaster. I'm learning more about models, so things may not be in my capability of explaining, but I understand it enough to push it out to the people that need to know what's going on and need to know on the upcoming severe weather. And with this upcoming severe weather, all modes are possible, and really there's only one or two limitations on if we will see it. We just need cap to break, and they'll fire, and we'll get storms. But again, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to get you prepared. Stay tuned with us here at the Nicholas WX weather team with Tanner Shero and Travis Murray. I really appreciate y'all for tuning in here with me on the channel. Please, again, have multiple ways of staying weather aware and getting warnings, weather radios, anything like that is very helpful. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday evening and Easter. I'm Nicholas Driver. Goodbye.
Live weather updates from the studio and outdoors with Tanner Shero and Nicholas Driver. Weather is what we do.